Is Larry here tonight?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey,
Larry's
How are
yes.
you?
So I'm doing great, Larry. So
That's
Larry, you
good.
were with me and we were trying to get this whole thing working. So I'm
Yeah.
working on that. So you and Mel can just have a little conversation while I'm trying to figure that out. How's that sound? Mel,
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mel just fluttered her eyes at me.
Yeah, I'm like in a different headspace right now. I have really bad heartburn. And if
Oh
anybody has any
no.
sympathy for me, that'd be great. You can call into the studio, 781-837-4900. Send me all of the sympathy that you have. But
Is
yeah,
is the
so
is the heartburn because you bought a new house? Are you having some pain because
y-
now you see how much money you have to put
oh
out?
my gosh, yeah, I think it might be that and I had
Oh,
one bite of mac and cheese last night
okay.
and I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh,
So, yeah, I
yeah.
think I think it's the mac and cheese,
Well,
the
the
one
the
bite.
new house jitters will go
The
away. I
new
mean
house
that's
jitters, yes,
and
but
and and you're buying a house the same time that I bought a house. It was Christmas time, so
yeah,
go in and decorate it, then move in around it.
yeah. I
It'll be
when did
good.
you buy your house?
1994.
1994. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're actually going to be talking about buying a house in 2024. So
Yeah,
what,
isn't
30
that
years
something?
later?
Yeah.
But I know right now it's 2023, but we're going to be sort of future forecasting because we only have a little bit of time left in this year, which is wild. But yeah, maybe my heartburn is because I did close on my first house yesterday, and today I got an oil change, and I was told that I need front and rear brakes. So there's that. I'm definitely an adult now. But yeah, no, it's a good heartburn. It's a good heartburn, and we're gonna tell everybody why. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about sort of the home buyer's perspective of pros and cons of maybe buying in 2024. So we're calling it "Should I Wait? Should I Buy?" We've done this show in the past, so you can sort of listen to all of our past shows on talkrealestateroundtable.com. Go to your podcast app, type in Talk Real Estate Roundtable. But yeah, why don't we just sort of dive right into it? I think you're my co-host right now because Sharon's still figuring it all out. But
Sharon, stop fiddling with that thing.
yeah, there's I think pros of what do
Yeah.
you
And no,
saying?
well, they were just saying that it sounded like it was very far away, but I'm going to just see if they can test it again, just because the things weren't working. The iRig wasn't lighting up.
Okay. So pros of buying in 2024. What do we think?
The
Go
the
ahead, Larry.
the
It's all
mortgage
you.
Larry, what do you
rates. It's
think?
it's a it's the mortgage rates and the availability of properties because stuff is still it's on the market for sometimes a week and it sells. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
depending on where it is. I mean, Plymouth is. I keep an eye on Plymouth because I live down there, and things are just they're selling fast.
Yeah.
And you're talking, houses over $500,000, and you need to look at what the how much land is with it, how much your tax is going to be, and then you have to figure out, you're going to how much you're going to be able to put down if you're going to put anything down on a house. A lot of people don't, but I can't imagine not putting anything down when a house is $750,000. It's a scary um, figure, in the we don't even know what I haven't seen what the home heating oil is going to be. I mean, last year gas was my house is heated with gas, and it
Yeah.
was
Mine too
very
now.
very high. So those are factors in there, that you have to keep in mind.
Yeah, actually, when I was doing my final walkthrough yesterday, Sharon pointed out there was a little note from the seller, and in the envelope was a breakdown of every payment that she had made in the past 2 years with electricity
Yeah.
and with the gas and stuff. So it seemed reasonable, but yeah, it's definitely gonna hit me that I'm an adult now.
I had 2 months where the gas bill was close to 300 with the
Wow.
thermostat down to maybe 60 when I wasn't home, and then up to 62. But we had a mild winter,
Yeah.
so this winter, so far, I don't know where the price for heating oil or gas is going to be. I mean, gasoline has come down, but diesel's gone up. So that may show kind of an average where heating oil would be. And we're supposed to be having a really um, cold winter. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
I know.
talking
I
about
heard.
a snowy winter. I'm hoping that they're wrong. I'm hoping that it'll stay mild so that I can save money for other things that I want to do instead of just paying for the heat of the house. But
Yeah.
those are important things because if you don't keep your house warm, then you wind up in other problems with
Yes,
freezing
I know.
and stuff
Yes,
like that.
Sam Horton sort of scared me a little bit last night. He said,
Yeah.
"Did you turn your heat up at your house?" Because everybody knows right now I
Well,
live with Mary and Sam, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, should I drive over there?" Which is 3 minutes. It's a 3 minute drive.
well, what I'm thinking about doing in my house is taking advantage of the new thermostats that you can log into, through an
Yeah,
app on
yeah,
a
the
phone,
Nest.
and then you can see what the temperature is in the house and then adjust it. There's a
Yeah,
property that I'm involved in, and I'll just drive up there and adjust the thermostat if I need to. But I can log into the device. It doesn't control the heat, but it lets me know what the temperature is, and it's near the first floor to cold air return. It's a forced hot air system. So I said 52 the other day. I had to go over there. Somebody had shut the heat off, but
yeah.
you know,
Kristen Howlett, who is a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, she does the show with me a lot. I think she's on next Tuesday with me. She even said to me today, she was like, we have a Nest like thermostat, so she
yeah.
can adjust it on her phone.
Hmm.
Sharon mentioned today having Mass Save coming out to my house, and they,
That's the one I was thinking about. Mass Save
yeah,
has some
Mass Save coming out, and they save you a
discounts
lot
there.
of money,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so it's definitely worth it. But like you said, it's not just the mortgage payment at the end of the day. You also have to factor in all of these other things like your heat, your electricity. I signed up for internet. Like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
get cable, but I'm
Yeah.
still going to pay almost $100 in internet, a
Well,
month. So
we
it's
can,
it's
this is interesting when it comes to television now. You can stream a lot of things basically
yeah,
for free,
yeah,
and you can put up a TV antenna outside the house.
yeah,
Doesn't have to be a great, big, gigantic thing. Aim it the right way, and I pick up 70 TV channels for free, over the air,
yeah,
and they come in HD. And there's many channels on there that show a lot of the programs that I used to watch with the cable package. I'm not home that much, so I can shut off one of the streaming
yep,
services that
yep.
gives me some of the stuff that I like. So, and one of the streaming services that gives me a lot of things I like is like $25 a month. So, and then Netflix has been under $8 with the ads, so it hasn't
Oh
been that
yeah.
much money.
Yeah, see, I don't have I have the one that doesn't have the ads, but I feel like I'm gonna have to cut back
Yeah,
because I think now it's like almost $20 a month or something, which in reality 20
they're
bucks
gonna
isn't
they're
that
gonna
much, but when you have,
no.
again, with everything
Yeah,
else,
they're gonna go up anyway,
yeah.
because of the money they have to pay now to actors and royalty fees and their movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But the free package was it's been like $6.99. I mean, not the free package. The one with the ads has been like $6.99,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. I was looking at my credit card statement and I saw, $6.99 or something for ESPN. And I remember, like, my brother texted me one day, "Oh, can you get me ESPN?" I'm like, "Sure, it's only $7 a month." I'm cutting that off. I need that $7 now. You gotta make some changes. So, but yeah, there's a ton of things that you watch on streaming and everything, as long as you got that internet. Gotta get the
Yeah.
internet. It's not a choice. But like I said, there's so many different avenues. When I had my initial meeting with Jasmine, who is my loan officer at Maritime Mortgage, she, was like, "Oh, where are you comfortable with payment?" And in my head, I had to say, "Okay, this is what I'm comfortable with this," but then factor in all the other things too. So, like, at the end of the day, this is what I can afford, type of thing.
Yeah.
So every offer I put in, I think I put in 8 offers. I had to, factor in, what my budget was. And, I say it all the time on the show, you really just have to be in constant contact with your loan officer because
Hmm.
with the interest rates, you brought them up earlier, they have been fluctuating. Luckily, or, it's a good thing they've gone down recently, I believe. And, even at my closing, Jasmine, came to my closing with one of her team members, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry. We're like, as soon as, they get to a good point, we're
Hmm.
refinancing. So don't you worry."
Yeah.
But yeah,
And they think that rates are going to go down. So that's
yeah,
actually part of our conversation that we're going to discuss as well for tonight. So,
yeah.
Larry, I just sent you oh, okay.
Then I just sent you back a text
Okay.
message.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, so we're live on Facebook too. So if you have any questions, again, we're just going to be talking about, should you wait or should you purchase, even if it's at the end of this year or any time during 2024. We do a show every year in December, sort of future forecasting, bold predictions, we call it. So we're starting it a little bit early, even though we have a little bit more than a month left in the year. But yeah, big.
I've been watching the real estate market around, and I'm on a few different places that advertise. They put up some of the older homes, upstate New
Yeah.
York and stuff. Some of the beautiful homes, and if you don't mind, like around the Buffalo area, I don't bring a big shovel,
Yeah.
snowblower or something. But there are some beautiful old, grand homes up in those areas. And that they need maybe a little bit of work, but the prices on them. You look at the prices on these, and you go, how can that be?
Yeah, I know.
But,
I
it's
see a
like
lot of that on social media,
Yeah.
on between Instagram,
Yeah.
because the algorithm, it's
Yeah.
got
Oh
me.
yeah.
It knows, the whole universe knows that I was buying a house. So I was getting
Yes,
all
we
of these.
do. We all do.
Yeah, I was getting all of these, ads and suggested pages and on TikTok and everything. And yeah, some of these houses I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
and I went to college in Florida, so I have a lot of friends that are still down there, and they sometimes ask me for some real estate advice about, oh, I'm selling my house, I'm doing this, I'm buying this house. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just bought a 4-bedroom house on the golf course in a private gated community for, $350.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
just couldn't
Florida.
believe
I mean,
it.
it's different. It's a little different down there. Up in Vermont, I've been looking for an old farm with barns and land, and then I would lease out the barns maybe to a guy who
Yeah.
has cows or horses, and then I don't have to take care of the cows and horses. I can just enjoy
Yeah.
having the cows and horses.
I would
But there's
kinda
a
like
lot
to
of-
have
there's a lot
cows
of
in my
parcels-
backyard.
A lot of parcels up in Maine, New Hampshire, in Vermont that have a big piece of land that if you look into the right thing, it may basically cost you nothing if you're allowed to develop some of that land, maybe build some 2-acre lot homes.
So,
Yeah.
Larry, let me
for it.
ask you this question.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm going to bring it right into our topic. So, if you had the opportunity, if that property that you're looking for up in Vermont or New Hampshire came your way right now, would you wait until 2024 and sort of wait to see if the interest rates go down, or would you buy it now?
I would wait for the interest rates to go down, but the problem with that is that it was a parcel of land that came up, and I don't think there was anything on it, and it looked like access to it may be through someone else's land. So that's one of the things that happens in Vermont. You got to look into that, and of course, trying to get electricity, or if you're going to go off grid, it was 250 acres of land for $100,000.
Wow.
And when I look back at it after a week, it was already sold.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's how fast
That's how fast things
stuff
are
is
going.
going.
Yeah.
And a lot of that land is locked land. There's a term for it up in Vermont, so you can't develop it. It's protected, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to.
They want to keep it nice
It'd be
and
nice to
country
have
up there.
something on 250 acres of land, and I could say it's all mine,
Yeah.
and have a gate
Yeah.
at the end of the driveway and not let anybody in. But
So, to all our listeners, you are listening to WATD and Talk Real Estate Roundtable. I am Sharon McNamara, and I'm here with Melissa Wallace tonight. And of course, we have Larry in the studio tonight for us and with us. So, thank you so much for filling in tonight for George. And our topic is, should you wait until 2024? So, should you wait to buy? Should you wait to sell? Melissa sure didn't wait, and she closed in almost like 20 days, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got that done. And if you have any questions for us, Larry can get you right through to us. So the number to the studio is 781-837-4900. We have a couple other things sort of going on at the same time. So if you are watching us on Facebook, hello to all of our Facebook friends. Of course, you can send us a text message. What is it called? A post, a question, or something, a comment. You can send us a comment on Facebook. And I am trying, Larry was in studio with me, and we are trying to do live on Clubhouse as well. So if anybody has any questions there, not sure if they can hear us. If someone can unmic on Clubhouse, if you can hear me, you can hear us. Is this Megan?
From Long Island. We hear you. We love hearing you all.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so you can hear Larry in the studio. So you're very, very low to me.
She's
So
a
I'm
little low, yeah.
yeah, so I have to figure out what that is, Larry. I still have a red thing, but we're going to work on that as well. So I will be with you in a minute. So tell everybody why we're thinking about this topic. It's just this time of year and the holidays, and people will always say, oh, I think I'm just going to wait until the spring. Oh, I think I'm just going to wait until after the holidays. I don't want to be disrupted during the holidays. We hear it all the time. One of the reasons why I did want to invite my friends from Clubhouse on is because a lot of them are from different places in the country. Megan, who we just heard from, Megan Gardner, she is from Long Island. She is probably in the same predicament as us when it comes to seasons and people thinking, oh, I'm going to wait until the spring. But we have so many other people that we're friends with on Clubhouse that are in warmer climates, and I wonder if they go through the same thing that we go through up here. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the last time we had some of the people from Clubhouse on, it was different. Like it was so different from us. But we have a lot of snowbirds, so a lot of people who will go fly down south to warmer weather or somewhere where it's warmer, because we do sometimes have some harsh winters. And like Larry said, it's predicted that we might have one this year. But I think every sort of place is different. And of course, our, business is located in Massachusetts, and we're really only, talking about Massachusetts, but it would be great to get, other perspectives throughout because, maybe one of our listeners are thinking about being snowbirds. And I know that we usually do a snowbird show every year. So we'll have to put that on the agenda.
Yeah, that's on our agenda, and that's one of the reasons why I've been trying really hard to get everything put together here with the Clubhouse app, is because I've invited them to do, a show with us when it comes to doing that. So let's get right into our agenda here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Pros. Oh, this was your topic, pros
I
of
know.
buying in 2024. So, I mean, I can't really say it because I bought into 2023.
Yeah. So you tell me, I mean, you bought in 2023, but was there a time during your process? I mean, we talked so much about you having buyer fatigue, and sort of, we went through like the emotions. It was almost like, the emotions of whatever that you have to go through, like a death of some sort.
After my closing yesterday, Jasmine, took me out to lunch, and we sort of waited to, of course, we had a mimosa, waited to hear that we were on record. So we were sort of killing time. We went out to lunch, and something that she said to me during lunch was, I'm so glad that you didn't give up. And she just kept saying that. And she said that, every time I didn't get an offer accepted, she said to herself, please don't give up. Please don't give up. Like, sort of putting it out in the universe. And, I definitely felt buyer fatigue. I've been at it for, I don't know, 14, 16 months or something. With one accepted offer beforehand, and it was almost a year to the day from having an accepted offer last year and closing on my house this year. So it's a long time between two accepted offers, and I was definitely getting discouraged with the rising interest rates. That was really again, being in constant contact with Jasmine, I just really had to focus on what I can afford. And it just, this house came up. It was your listing, and I was able to see it, and I just got emotional at my showing, and I've never gotten emotional at any of my showings, and I think it was because of my fatigue. I said to you during my showing, like, I'm never going to get it. Like, everyone's going to want this house. And you ended up getting 24 offers. And to me, that's everybody. So, to feel sort of defeated before even giving the house a chance. I am also glad that I didn't give up. So it was nice to hear Jasmine say that yesterday. And, she's also saying, well, refinance, she's very hopeful in projecting that the interest rates are going down. So, yes, I purchased in 2023, but that was my journey, and I wasn't going to give up on the opportunity to purchase this house just because I felt like, oh, maybe something better was, like, I I even stopped looking at MLS. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even look at MLS.
Well, I was sending you things and then I wouldn't get a response. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to touch it today then. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know what mood,
Every day
you
was,
know,
every
it
day was a little bit different. And, it was emotional for me. And, especially doing it, on my own, even though I had so many people in my corner, but financially doing it on my own, it was really important for me to do it. And, that's why I didn't give up. But, I did obviously purchase a house yesterday, but I wasn't going to wait. But, like I said, there was only about a month left. There is still time to get an accepted offer and close on something. Trust me, I know. And that's when you have a team on your side that's like on top of everything. Because let me tell you, everyone over at Maritime Mortgage and at Styles Law were on top of it. Like, email after phone call after
Can you
email
give some
after
credit to the listing agent on that
Yeah,
one?
I'll give you credit. Yes, and the listing agent showed up to my closing.
Yeah, we showed up to the closing. We don't even do that anymore, but we did for this one. It was special. But, as you were talking, one of the things that you said was, that you were getting that fatigue and you were getting tired of it. And I think if a lot of buyers are saying, I'm just going to wait until the spring, and you said you were up against 24 offers.
Yeah.
So guess what? If you're like, why give up? Because if everybody has that mentality, then you probably have a better chance. So let's just say, okay, there are 24 offers on the house. You put an offer in, so you got the house. So now there's 23 other people.
Yeah.
I do know I talked to Sue Bollinger, who's one of our full-time agents here at Boston Connect Real Estate, and her client put an offer in. And she got accepted on something else.
Nice.
And Kristen Howlett, who's
Yeah.
a full-time real estate agent here
Yeah.
at Boston Connect, her client put an offer on the house you got. They got something under agreement. I mean, you guys, everyone around here, they're using some really, really good strategies to get their offers accepted. And I'm super proud of our agents all the time anyways. But there's less people in the pool.
Yeah.
And if people decide to wait, this is a better opportunity for you as a buyer. And what you said was, Jasmine said to you, don't worry, as soon as I see that the rates are going down, we'll refinance you.
Yeah.
Right? So, you will probably have a few months or a couple months, when you're paying at the rate that you're at. But if they go down, at least you know what your payment is right now and you can afford that. You can't look back if the rates drop down to, let's say, 6%. They're never going to where they were before, people, ever. So just get that out of your head. That's not happening. But if it does go lower, don't go backwards in your head and say, geez, if I had just waited, I could have bought more of a house. I could have bought a house that had a newer roof. You can't do that. You've made your decision. I think you made a great one. And when you refinance, you could potentially do a cash out refi and do the roof and do some things.
Yeah. Like I said, it's my journey. Everyone has, a different journey. And I love the fact that Sue's client got something accepted. I knew about Kristen's client getting something accepted. But again, these are all buyers that are in my pool and my price range that we've been putting offers in on the same houses through our entire journey. So, I can't stress this enough. There's plenty of buyers that are willing to, continue their journey into 2024 and make homeownership their dream.
Yeah. And they should. And we're really happy that we're getting people to that. So one of the cons, I'm going two ways right here now with our agenda, because the pros of 2024, well, what I was just saying too about the buyers, like, okay, you're better off staying in the market right now and continuing on, because a lot of buyers are saying, I'm going to wait until the spring. I'm going to wait until more things come on the market, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait to see if the rates drop, like Larry just said he would do. But then now let's think about the sellers and the pros for the sellers. It's similar. What I'm going to say about sellers is sellers a lot of times will say, oh, I'm going to wait until the spring because right now it's the holidays. We'll get into that conversation a little bit deeper as well. And they're going to wait until the spring. And spring for these people is April and May around here, because they want their, flowers blooming and all that, the grass green. Well, if you're a seller and you're thinking about doing it in the spring, it would make sense for you to put it on now during the holidays even.
Yeah.
And in the cold winter months, even if we're going to have a bad winter, because you're going to be one of less inventory. Because come spring, if that's when everybody else is thinking about going on the market.
Yeah.
Now you're one of much inventory, and now you have competition.
I would say a con for either a buyer or a seller is life is so unpredictable. Like, if you're always waiting for something better, you're going to be waiting forever.
Oh, maybe I said that to you. Oh, yeah. Remember when I was holding 20 offers in my hand and you're like, I don't even have a chance at this?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, if
How
you
did
aren't
that
going to
work
help
out?
me, you better put in an offer. And I was like, fine. And I went in my
Larry?
office and I put in an offer.
Larry, it was literally like a scene from Cher. You know, the one that she
But
did
it's
in
not
Cohasset?
It's not. Yeah, it's not an easy.
Snap out of it.
It's not an easy thing to do. I remember sitting in the bank with my mom, and she wanted to refinance the house. There was a home equity line of credit, and she wanted to refinance it. And the guy said, "Why are you not considering a 15-year?" She says, "I could never do a 15-year." I said, "Do the math." Came back with the math and saved my mother $35,000.
Wow.
And
Good
a
for her.
15-year mortgage.
Wow.
But here's the thing: if you got the down payment, think about this. If you want to wait for the rates to go down, go to a bank and see what their CDs are right now. CDs are really going up, and some of the banks are offering 5.0. I'm going to be moving some money from one CD to a new CD in December. And some of these some of these banks offer no penalty to take it out, but that money can grow while you're either looking for a house or waiting for the mortgages to come down. So if you've got a down payment sitting in a bank and it's not doing anything, it's not making any money, you don't have it in a high interest savings account, look for a bank that locally, some of the banks now have high interest savings accounts, or find a CD to put it into. You can probably get 9 months to 13 months on some of these certificates. And one of the banks told me that, next month we're offering a 5.0, and I'm at 425 on the one I have now. So, I mean, let that money grow and see if the rates come down. And I just have one of the local banks in front of me with the rates, a 30-year fixed, let's see, 675.
Yeah, but there's so many variables
Yeah,
that go
there's
into
so many,
There's so many
15s are at
variables. It
7.1,
matters.
so,
Matters what your
I
rate
mean,
is and all that.
Yeah, and
I mean, what your credit score.
Yeah, and the credit score too. But,
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to start. They're going to start to come down.
Yeah.
I mean, they just can't stay where they are.
They
But
will.
another thing, if your credit isn't good, and you're using a debit card for everything, stop using a debit card. Use a credit card. Use someone else's money. Pay it off every time it comes in. If you don't pay off that credit card when it's coming in, maybe you should reconsider what you're buying
Yeah.
and not buy.
That's the
that
problem
right now.
though with a lot of people is they have this instant gratification, and honest to God, I say around here it's like Christmas every day, every Amazon box that comes through the door. So yeah, but that's a good idea, and I think what we'll do is we'll have Jasmine on, and she can give us
Yeah.
some ideas for people to make sure that they're building their credit and. Just watch what you're doing, because this is the other thing that we've seen some of the buyers do. They get buyer fatigue, they get all whatever wonky about it, and then they're like, I deserve a Louis Vuitton bag. I deserve
Yeah.
this. You know what I mean? And then they go out and they spend all this money, and then they have all this credit card debt. So when they're using the credit card, then when they go to get another pre-approval letter when the house comes on the market, they can't really afford what
Things
they thought they
change.
could.
Things can
Exactly.
change in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
When it comes to
Yeah.
doing that.
So I think we have Mary Baker listening in on
Horton.
Clubhouse. Oh yeah, Mary Horton. Sorry about that. It's only been
Jeepers.
since June. I mean,
Yeah, she's only been married for 5 months.
Not even. Mary Baker.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
I can. Hear you.
can.
Yes.
And
is
it's
it low,
Horton.
or can you hear me good?
Good
Yeah,
grief.
Mary Horton,
The
guys.
both of you. Mary, you even call yourself Mary Baker. Rude.
I know, but I changed my voicemail, so that's what really matters.
Oh, okay.
I
Gonna
know.
change everything else. Good grief.
So Mary Horton, for all of our listeners, you know who Mary is. Mary is my team member, and Melissa's a team member. So we're all just one big happy team here at Boston Connect Real Estate. And Mary, I'm sort of curious because you've always worked with our buyer clients when it comes to that. And I mean, what are your thoughts? I know that you were also doing a CMA today for one of our past clients. What's the mindset of the buyers you're working with, and what's the mindset of the seller that you had in today? I know he has to wait because of estate planning, but what's the mindset?
I think for buyers, I mean, you guys are nailing it on the head. It is a lot of buyer fatigue, and especially this time of year, I feel like a lot of people's natural instinct is to kind of take themselves out of the running. Say, you know what? It's been a rough summer. It's been a rough fall. I'm going to go into the holidays and I'm going to reset. And where that's natural, right? Because you kind of just want to, it's a slower time of year. It's probably the exact opposite of what you want to do or you should be doing, because this is where opportunity lies. I was actually speaking with some buyers that we have purchasing a new construction property at our community at Cochise Estates in West Bridgewater. And they said, you know, do you feel as if I put my house on the market, is it going to sell? And I said, notoriously, my team and I have put a property under contract every December 23rd. So
Wow.
holidays do not deter or stop the true buyers from being out there, because they still need to move. They still need to go somewhere. And those are the ones that you truly want. You want the buyers who need to move and aren't just browsing or looking. And anybody who's willing to go out in a snowstorm really needs to move.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
any realtor going out in a snowstorm is a serious realtor, full-time realtor. Right, Mary?
Well, very much so. I do have all wheel tires on my car for that fact, for that reason. And same goes for sellers. So it is, I mean, there's no denying that it is a tougher time of year to show your house, not
Yeah.
necessarily to sell your house, but to show your house. So more effort gets put into it. There is potentially or perceivably more inconveniences, right? You have to, while you're worried about entertaining family and friends that are potentially visiting you, you're looking at, you know, I have to keep the house tidy for everybody to come through. And, you know, maybe I have to squeeze in a showing and Christmas shopping and whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It can perceivably be inconvenient, but still, the buyers who are out there are the ones who aren't going to put in an offer and then get cold feet,
Yeah.
or the ones that, you know, get to a home inspection potentially and want to beat you up.
No
think-
beating.
Who
no
wants to
beating
beat
him.
you up?
No beating. But you
Yeah.
know, everybody's like, oh, it's becoming a little bit more of a buyer's market, so buyers can go in and I'm going to negotiate at home inspection. That's still kind of false, if I'm being completely honest. Buyers
Yeah.
are having inspections, but they certainly aren't holding anybody over the rails, so to
Yeah.
speak, when it comes to negotiations.
What about price range things, Mary? Like, what are you seeing with different price ranges? I mean, with the higher end homes that are in like the 8s and 9s and things like that. I know you were out with clients of ours just last week and they were looking at houses that are like up to like 1.2. But do you see lots of offers coming in, like multiple offer situations coming in on that? I saw one of the houses that they looked at actually did go under agreement. So
Yeah.
there must be a
Yeah.
lot of buyers out in that price range.
I really don't think that there's a price range that doesn't have multiple buyers looking in it. That doesn't mean that every range, in my opinion, is getting multiple offers every single time it lists, right? Like the property that we had looked at over the weekend, it has been on for quite some time, but only because it's not complete yet. Right. So it's working its way to being the showstopper house. So it requires a buyer who has a lot of vision, and also a seller who's very determinate or adamant in his price point. So I don't necessarily think that, so that particular property, no, it doesn't have multiple offers on it in this moment in time, but when it's finished, it will, 100%. Even with, you know, with our new construction properties, we have, you see the same thing. It requires the vision for the buyers to really be willing to act. But I don't know. I don't really think any one price range is being hurt.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Melissa, first time home buyer, multiple offers.
Yeah.
You know, average, I was looking at this the other day. If we do an area market survey for properties in Pembroke, specifically between 500 and 600, average sale to list price ratio over the past 6 months is 108%, I believe. So that's 8% over list in your mid range.
Yeah. I know. And then also with us with new construction, I mean, it's interesting too because we have two developments. For those of you who don't know that, we have Cushing Trails, which is 40 units in Hanson, and those are both townhouses. And my ranges start from 570 up to 630 as base price. And Mary is over in West Bridgewater and 92 units over there, and that is a mixture of single family and duplexes. And the single family, I mean, once we opened up that phase over on Blueberry Hill, that really, really popped open, and it seems like you're over there a lot. So there's definitely a lot. Because what is this? What are the price ranges over there starting at?
So for our single families, we start at $799 to at base, and we're up to $899. We do have multiple what we call spec houses, so properties that we have either completed and or are in the process of completing as well, that we also have on market and able to sell much quicker than your ground up construction.
Yeah.
And I think that that's appealing too, right, Sharon? We had this conversation with our builders earlier. And especially this time of year in new construction, it's that much more important to have a product to show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I'd like some heat.
Yeah. Well, we've also done shows on new construction and the pros of buying the model homes.
Yeah.
You know, you get the best bang for your buck.
I was
Yeah, very
actually,
good
reading an article today, and I actually sent it over to the builders today, and it was out of Forbes, and they were saying how new construction really is, is still strong, and that it will continue to be that way. One of the topics that I did want to discuss today too, for like sellers, a lot of times sellers don't want to put their house on the market because this time of year, because they are thinking about the holidays and their decorations and the nuisance of people wanting to come in. But one of the things I love about having homes that are listed this time of year, and there's a few, is one, you really only get the serious buyers because the looky-loos are like, I'm too busy to like,
Yeah.
if they're not really looking, then they're probably, picking out a turkey right now. If they're not really looking in December, they're probably shopping for the holidays.
Yeah. I feel like I closed on my house in a very difficult time, the week of Thanksgiving. And I have, the December to move, but, it's the unpredictable weather. It's the time that it takes to move. It's, and plus I'm having it painted. I'm having the floors redone, so it's restricting me from being able to fully move in right away. So, and everyone keeps asking, are you excited? I'm like, yes, I'm excited, but I think I will be even more excited once I'm in it. But yeah, it's like I said, but the serious buyer is going to close 3 days before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely. And it made sense for the seller too. And I think a lot of times offers are being accepted because we are thinking of those things. When does the seller want to move?
Yeah.
And they wanted to move pretty rapidly too. So they were going on to that next chapter of her life, and she is just sweet and adorable.
Yeah.
So I really am an advocate. And too, like even with the weather, like don't worry about the bad weather, and you're worried about people, bringing the snow and all that into your house. That's why we have booties. That's why we say take off your shoes. That's why you have a nice little cheap area rug for $10 that you can get at Big Lots or something at your front door. But that's when the serious buyers are out there, and that's when your house will sell. And this time of year, Mary, we've said this in the past too. And I specifically have John M in my mind over on, So like they were like, oh, maybe we think that we should wait until the spring. P.S. Spring for us, we looked up, the Super Bowl is Sunday, February 11th. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Late.
it's late this year. Yeah. So February 12th, that Monday is what we consider to be the spring market. So, definitely I want people to think, if you're thinking spring, that's when you should be thinking, but you should be calling us now so we can do an analysis on your home and give you some ideas of different things to do as you're preparing to get your house on the market. But a lot of relocation stuff happens at the end of the year, and they whip in and they say, yep, this is the house, I want to buy it, and we'll see you in January. So I don't know. It looks like I don't have any other listeners. I was going to see if anybody on Clubhouse wanted to talk about where they were with, in their areas or neck of the woods. I can't really see my phone. If anyone is up on stage and they do want to talk about that, please just let me know and just pipe in. You can just unmute your mic. All right, so we only have a few minutes left. We have our event this weekend
Yes.
which we're really excited about.
Yes, we have our Pictures with Santa event. So
Yeah.
the registration has closed. So hopefully you connected with your Boston Connect real estate agent and signed up for your free picture with Santa. But like I said, the registration has closed. We have reached capacity, which is awesome. It's
Yeah.
a good problem to have.
Yeah, how many,
Not
like,
that it's a problem, but
over 300 people,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, we have over 300 people coming on Saturday. So, for those of you that did get the chance to sign up with your agent, we have a lot of great things going on. Santa himself from the North Pole will
Yes,
be here.
yes.
You can write a letter to Santa. There are plenty of
Cookies and
stories
treats.
to be read. We have story time. We have ornament making. You
Yeah.
can make an ornament downstairs in our little workshop. And yeah, there's cookies and donuts and coffee and cider and hot chocolate. So plenty of things to do. I think it's going to be a little chilly on Saturday, so warm
no
up
rain.
with
No
rain.
rain.
That's important. So
Yeah.
you
Dress
know,
warm.
dress warm,
Dress
but
in
you
dress
get
in layers.
you got a nice little warm drink to keep you. And then there's so much to do inside the
Yeah.
inside the house.
Yeah, inside our house.
Inside our house. So come on.
And that's the other thing too is if you didn't get a chance to sign up for Pictures with Santa, sometimes people don't come. But if you even just want to come and write a letter to Santa,
Yeah.
we have all
We have a
kinds
special mailbox that has
Yes.
a direct line to the North Pole. So
Yeah.
if you leave your
of Santa
return
writes back
address,
to every single person. That
if you leave a return address, Santa
yeah,
replies back.
yep, it is amazing.
It's amazing
Yeah.
how that happens.
Yeah, so come by on Saturday. We're still debating. I want to do the show. Larry there suggesting I don't, but you know what? I do the show from 8 to 9, and I really want to do it because I'm excited about Saturday. So
Yeah, it's gonna be loud though.
yeah, it will be loud. I know. So
It's gonna be loud.
yeah, I know.
Any final thoughts? We only have about a minute
No,
left.
Mary, we're not doing any open houses this weekend, correct?
So we are on Sunday, just not Saturday for our event.
Oh, okay. So I am working on Sunday. I did not know that. So you will see me Sunday at 10 to 12 at Cushing Trail in Hanson. You can get there easily, 486 Spring Street in Hanson, and you can see me over there at that new development. I have 40 units. And Mary, tell everybody how they can get to you.
Yep. So I will be at Cochise Estates on Sunday from 11 to 3 p.m. So we have duplexes and single families, price ranges and styles for everything.
All right, awesome. Well,
perfect.
thank you to all our listeners. You can find all the information on bostonconnect.com. And if you can make it on Saturday, we will be here from 9 to 12. Can't promise that you would get any pictures with Santa. We are sold out on that, but we have lots of other fun things going on. So come and join us. Thank you, Mel.
Bye.
Thanks, Mary.
Bye.